subscribe.
Opinions. Everyone has some. If you want to be heard, it's usually a good idea to put it out there. Except when it comes to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list. This little puppy has the ability to divide and conquer our entire community. One webpage. That's all it takes to turn your best friends into mortal enemies. If you put your opinion out there when it's ban list season, you're wrong. You haven't played the game and it shows. Do you even know Konami? Maybe even expect a death threat or two? But we're gonna do it anyway. If we take a look at some upcoming releases, Crossout Designator, the Brave Token Package, Phoenix Enforcer, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a game is about to get a lot of extra powerful options. A little bit of DLC. Yu-Gi-Oh! 2.0. You got your boss monsters, your board breakers, outs to boss monsters and board breakers, shit, even your outs have outs. How you build your deck is going to change a lot over the foreseeable future. Originally this was gonna be a ban list prediction video, but Konami already sucker punched us, so we can turn it into a discussion and I guess make early predictions for the next one. Yep, fuck it, we're doing a January 2022 ban list prediction, baby. So my theory originally was that with Master Duel on the horizon, Konami wants to eventually close the gap between OCG and TCG to the point where Yu-Gi-Oh! Is eventually a single universal game with a global ranked ladder via Master Duel. How they would actually achieve that is a whole other discussion with time frames, imports, and set management, etc. So we'll ignore that for now. The main point is bridging the gap. Taking a look at the new list, it doesn't really change the format much at all. Every top deck is still playable as a top deck, except maybe Prank Kids, which I assume was the intention to not harm tin sales, while also making little hits that were, for the most part, widely expected. Except for Barrage. Tell me you hate Zodiac without telling me you hate Zodiac. I think people are just bored of the format, which is understandable, especially given the fact that there's not really too many tournaments going on. But it's way too early to nuke things. Instead, Konami will let upcoming products shake things up, and then they'll drop the nuke. Notice how Nessie, E-Tally, and Joker all came up to 2. While these aren't exactly revolutionary changes, they do pretty much line up with the OCG list, which makes the theory a little bit more plausible. So we can at least make sense of everything on the current list. But now let's get into the juice. The next list is no sooner than January 17th, meaning we see Flunderies, Sword Soul, Baroness, Phoenix Enforcer, and the Brave Engine all before the next set of changes. The TCG on January 17th is essentially going to be about where OCG is right now. They've just had a ban list come out after the release of Grand Creators, and Grand Creators comes out on January 13th or 14th, just a few days before our ban list, so essentially the same kind of situation. Obviously, we're not going to just copy their whole ban list overnight. It's going to take a good few ban lists before we can completely close the gap, but I do think there's room for a lot of big changes on the next one, especially with the power level of decks we'll have in January, so we can release some older fan favorites to spicing things up. Without further ado, let's get into the January 2022 prediction. Starting off for our bans, I know I called this a nuke, but we only have 2 cards on this list, and that is Dragoon, because by this point Dragoon will have served its purpose. We'll probably have a reprint by then, and it will be replaced by Phoenix Enforcer. And the second card is, of course, Mystic Mine. So many people have been calling for this for so long, and the OCG finally just banned it, so I believe on the January list, TCG will finally ban it as well. I would like to put Imperial Order here as well, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Moving on to our limited section, we of course have some hits and some cards being released from the Slammer. So starting with the hits, we have Zeus and Nadir Servant. After the tins have been sold and there's no more product sales left to worry about, we can finally hit these cards just like OCG have, because they are just so incredibly strong. I also have Meltdown on this list. OCG currently has it at 2, but the card is just dumb in general. Locks aren't my Melfies, it makes me sad, man. Next is a very controversial prediction. Before you dislike and close the video, hear me out. Maxi at 1. This is a prediction, not a wish list. Like I said, we're closing the gap. Obviously, being at 1 is super sacky and annoying, but you know what TCG are like when it comes to releasing cards. It goes to 1, then 2, then 3. So I think eventually we will have 3 Maxi. I don't want to hear any of your baby-ass comments.
Oh, you clearly didn't play in 1997. This card's too oppressive and generates too much advantage, kills combo decks.
Blah, blah, blah. Look, listen! You're stuck in the past, my guy. Current Yu-Gi-Oh! Has so many different different options for competitive deck building and counterplay compared to back then, it would not be as awful as you think it would. Yeah, sure, it'll fuck up reckless, ignorant combo spam decks if they don't take it into consideration, but otherwise it slows the pace of the competitive game a bit. At least give it a format or two before going wild with your dick forks. Anyway, the next hit is Saryuja to 1. I think we can agree Saryuja should have always been at 1. Obviously, it's not really been utilized for like the past 2 years or some shit, but considering some of the other predictions on this list, I think it'll make sense. And thus we come to the fun part. Who gets out of jail? Balls deep, dude. Colossus to 1, Harp to 1, Electromite to 1. This might require a little bit of tweaking. They might need to come out at the expense of some other cards. Like in the OCG, all of these cards are at 1, but they have certain other hits to those archetypes. For example, they have both Gursu and Thunder Dragonhawk at 1, I guess, to like even things out. But I think in terms of a prediction, it's worth seeing what those decks can do without hitting anything else to see if anything else actually does need hit. Moving on to semis, I'm not going to predict any hits to 2 because TCG doesn't usually do that. It's more of an OCG thing. So these are all things that I could see moving down the list. With Zeus being limited, I think it's possible we get a copy of Tenki back to match the OCG. It probably should stay at 1 because, you know, generic Rota, but 2 is my prediction for now. Called by the Grave. OCG has it at 2, crossouts have been sold unless they want to milk a reprint. If we get Max C, we probably get another called by to match OCG. Salomon Great Circle got unlimited in OCG, so it probably slowly moves off the list and goes to 2 and then 3 on the next one. Same with Red MD as well. And then finally we have Jackalope and Tsuchinoko to 2. OCG even has Snek at 3, so I can totally see this happening, and this is the reason Saryuja needs to be at 1 as well. Dude, I love Danger Thunder, so I think it could be fun. Finally, we have the Unlimits, and I'm gonna play it safe here and just basically copy the OCG. Nessie to 3 and Mind Control to 3. I don't think much needs to be said there, but there is arguably a lot of other stuff that could come off the list, but I just wanted to keep it realistic. So that's my prediction for January 2022. Remember this video and refer back to it when I'm 100% right 4 months from now. I can't wait to read all your comments on this video. Let me know what you think about the ban list and the game going forward. Also, while we're here, I might as well update you since it's been a little bit of a hot minute since we last uploaded on the channel. Basically, I've been recording more than I've been editing the past week. So Yu-Gi-Oh! From Scratch episode 30 comes out in the next 2 days, I believe, and then we've got Minecraft Locals, which I actually went to. That video's popping off, by the way. Next episode of Arena's been recorded, next episode of Profit or Forfeit has also been recorded, and the next one box each has also been recorded, basically. Lots to edit, lots to look forward to, and lots of reasons to subscribe to the channel, and I guess like this video, right? Thanks for watching, and enjoy your format, idiot.
To slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Pass the paper.